abusuafo ye bema obi bia akwa abashonko so e de aba eye Ghana eye politics eye avenue so ye be show obi bia sese afei eno abadwumadi kese we so a obe like obe share obe subscribe to the channel on sane we ya political trending news bia e ko twi cover ma bia no won so what ye penny say abusuafo de tie for money ye be di dwuma na money ya penny abom and ye call political highway ni so no ye nsem bebre ani aso akote e bi ni saying sese ya no e Solomon and de abetu dwa a wo kire mu say sese attorney general adwuma na o ye no John Dramani Mahama the president no na ni age hu ye pa o ka kire so onkoso no onye no was slow tense crowd down enye ne na nka wo say say odile na say enye ne no wo say nkochi Wontumi wo say nkochi la to see ano or this speech na aba betu dwa or the kasa na so ato aso see ano attorney general decision what the key chairman chairman Wontumi so no na ni age hu ye papa enya asem keto akrabusuafo ye nje obi biara mrem so ye nse obi biara so mrepi ye besra mo sene ya matum masum se keka mo no ye besra mo se mo be me ye tumri katentem na ye de aso ene ye ni akwakotie de Solomon kafa attorney general adwuma na oye na ye ra John Dramani Mahama congratulations or congratulating for the why to obi bia as
Mahama as he renews war on Galamsey, recorded by the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. So it's on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. I'll just read the background to the story and we can proceed from there. It says President John Dramani Mahama has stressed that the campaign He, however, emphasized that the approach would require significant financial resources and maintained also that he would declare a state of emergency in relation to illegal mining upon the advice of national security. President Mahama consequently reaffirmed his administration's commitment to win the fight against the scourge, which has come to be known popularly as Galamsey in local circles. In his words, I want to assure you that we are determined to win this fight, and your contributions, your criticisms, your pressure, putting fire under our feet, we don't have any problem with that. We welcome it. And it goes on and on and on. But this is what President Mahama is saying. Solo, let me start with you. Now, there have been many calls for Galamsey to be declared as a state of emergency. And now we've heard the president indicating that we holding government to the feet, to the fire of accountability is welcome. And he will only go through with that per the advice of the national security. What do you think about it?
Let me greet you once again. Quickly do a disclaimer of a story that was making rounds over the weekend whilst I was away in the central region. In fact, I left Accra on Thursday and came yesterday. Now, whilst I was away, there is this news portal called Oprah News or whatever.
It's an online portal.
It's an online portal. It's a fake one as such. And they don't even do their work well. That I had said, it's unfortunate my phone is not here, that I was not returning to the MPP and that I was apologizing to Nana Akuffo for all the things that I've said about him. And they attributed to my appearance on TV3 on Saturday. When Saturday I was busily helping Oguakoto in Central Region to bury the mother. And so when people started sharing, I thought people were in the know that I wasn't even in Accra, but I realized it kept coming. People were, so let me use it to clear that I had not granted any interview to that effect between me and Addo. If there is anyone that has an apology to offer to the other, it should be Nana Akuffo. He used my task to go and dig a hole. He messed up. Only recently he said that one of his darkest moments was the DDEP, you understand. So when somebody comes and he is even refusing to apologize, when in fact by saying that your darkest moment was that decision, the next thing that should have followed was an apology. Then between the two of us, I deserve an apology from her and not me. So Oprah News you did a good try, but I mean, you must get it. You must show your customer. I do not fall for some of these things. And to the numerous viewers and Ghanaians that were sending me, it's never true. It's one of the fake news that you can treat it as throw it into the dustbin and let's move on. Back to Galamsey. Galamsey, first of all, is an illegality. Let's get it straight. And it is the duty of every government to make sure that they deal with things that are illegal in nature. So ordinarily, we are not supposed to be organizing conferences, programs on something that is illegal. Do we do conferences on armed robbery? It's the duty of the police to go after those that are armed robbers. Is that not the case? Yeah. So it's not something that we must pamper the corporates. But the reason why we are finding it very difficult dealing with this canker is that the actors are also the big players, the decision makers in the country. You understand? Other than that, Galamsey is an open enterprise. If you go to various communities where it is going on, we see it daily. One day, I'll go on a excursion with you to the western side of this country, from Takwa to Bogoso to Prisia. I'll finance it, don't worry.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
No, you have to. Sometimes beyond the headlines.
Yes.
You have to go on the field and experience for yourself, and you will understand that a lot of the things that they say are chaff. That 100 meters from where Galamsey sites are, you would mostly see a police barrier. And they know them.
Or a police station.
A police station. Sometimes even in Osino, it is being done right behind the police station. So who can convince anybody that we don't know? The only reason why it's difficult is that, one, people that you call the honorables, the excellencies, the big men, are the ones behind it. And they sit on the table to take decisions. Those young boys and girls that you see at the site, they are just victims of circumstances. They don't have the jobs, so it is very easy to coerce them or convince them to go to the site and work. When the actual players are in Accra, directing, how much is the cost of excavator for those young boys and girls to be able to buy even the chemicals, the chamfines, and all the instrument equipment needed to undertake this? We just have to be truthful to ourselves. That is why I'm so happy that I understand the Attorney General is calling for the prosecution of Wontumi. When you begin to go after the kingpins, that is the solution. You remember the current Attorney General has referred the issue of Yamin and Abanga to Iyoko. We expect the report to come out of that. In the same vein, the Attorney General said that they must take a second look at the Professor Frimpong Boate's report. In for Professor Frimpong Boate's report, he mentioned people that were behind Galamsey. Why? Are you afraid of them? Are they a special breed of human beings? That we know that they are causing existential threat to you and I. This morning, I'm sure you have taken in some breakfast.
Not yet.
If you do, the thing is that the water that was used to water the ingredients, Galamsey water. Chemicals everywhere. So we know them. We must do well to forget about the fact that they funded our political activities. Because the truth of the matter is that they also fund our political activities. Let them understand that the mere fact that you funded them, you didn't ask them to go and do Galamsey to bring you money. It's very important. Now, the program that took place on Friday, with all due respect, I don't think it can give us any solution. The meeting of civil society organizations, the clergy, the NAME, the NIME, it does not solve the problem.
But aren't they active players when it comes to advocacy and,
What new thing was said that we do not know? You tell me one.
Perhaps, coming under one roof.
The truth of the matter is that the president knows the problems. You and I know the problems. We know the consultative agents. It is for people in authority to act. That is what is left.
What do you think the impediment is?
I just told you that they are the ones financing our political activities.
Okay.
And when you go after them, they will remind you that you remember you came for some $2 million. It was from Galamsey. That would be the end of the matter. You can't go after the person again. You understand? So you would realize that the issue the bone of contention was whether or not to declare a state of emergency. That was what was on the lips of many. And I thought that to be able to answer that question, the president needed to invite his national security and the Minister of Defense, currently Akuffo is the one acting, to have dealt with it once and for all. Because you see, those that are calling for state of emergency are not experts.
Yeah.
They see the problem coming. We all know that Galamsey is destroying our environment. But state of emergency also has its own problems. And the president can only act upon the advice of the national security and the minister or the Minister of Defense. So I wanted to understand from the Ministry of Defense and also the national security, what are their reasons for not advising the president to move into a state of emergency? Or what is their reason for saying that we should go into a state of emergency? Then we can also interrogate the matter.
But so when you go to the drawing board, last week or so,
yes.
when I had a conversation with PD and Dr. Marazuk,
yeah.
something came up about how a state of emergency might, to an extent, affect, the community members.
Yes.
Because when a state of emergency is declared, then now they have curfews, they don't have to do this,
yes,
they don't have
yes.
to do that, they are restricted and all those things. So, I mean, all those things put together,
yes,
perhaps is one of the reasons.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying, that we needed the national security to put the matter to rest.
Okay.
State of emergency means that you are putting aside the constitution. You are giving the power to the president to act. Then, now, listen, who are those that are going to ensure that the state of emergency actually works? Is the military.
Yes.
Or the security agencies. At that time, the community people that have mouth to speak today, they will not be able to. Because no law is working. Journalists who are also amplifying the state of emergency, you cannot, because you will not be allowed to go there. You understand? And it's not just going to affect those communities. Because remember, some of these communities, that's where we get our food from, in Accra. So invariably, we will be affected. That is why the movement for change came out with a 10-point strategy to deal with these issues. We said that we were going to ban small-scale artisanal mining for a year. And during that time, reclaim the land together with those young guys and women that have destroyed it by paying them. Because going around doing campaign, we realized that they were paid 200 cedis a day. So together with the Minerals Commission and the Forestry Commission, we were going to engage these people so that we reclaim the land and then engage them. Beyond that, we were going to revoke what we call LI 2462 immediately, and also revoke all licenses that have been issued in the last 15 years. Because one thing is that when you ask anyone doing mining, they will tell you that, oh, they are doing legal mining. What is their basis of saying they are doing legal mining? Because they have a license. The mere fact that you have a license to mine does not mean you are doing legal mining. You were given a scope, you were given an area to mine. You have gone beyond that. The methodology that you put in your business plan that you are going to use to mine, you are not using the same methodology. You are doing otherwise. We are also going to strengthen the Minerals Commission because their monitoring department is virtually non-existent. That is why some of these things are happening. These were some of the strategies. Now the president says that, look, state of emergency, we haven't got in there, which we agree that we are not there, because he still has the capacity either to ban or what is now prescribing, which is declaring the water bodies as a national security zone. It's one way of declaring a state of emergency.
Okay.
But these are specifics. Now, beyond that, the 9 months that he has brought up, that's the National Anti-Mining Operation, I believe that I've engaged their leadership, the military. I don't believe in the politicians. I always want to hear the professional, because if anything happens, those military persons, they are serving Ghana. Ghana is their political party. You understand? What seems to be lacking is resources. And so we have November that the Minister of Finance will read his budget. I want to believe and I want to see that more resources have been allocated to the NIMOS for them to be able to deal constructively with these illegal miners. But they cannot achieve whatever they intend to do if politicians, the so-called big men, I don't know how big they are. How can you be destroying the environment and you call yourself a big man?
Or honorable.
Honorable. That the military of this country must not bend down to these people. They must go after them. As was promised by Keneboa. I know him personally. I know him. He is one of the finest. We are taking the top 3 military men. He is one of them. That he does not control or bend down to any nonsense of any politician. That Keneboa will be encouraged not to listen to the whims and caprices of any politician, but to know that the only legacy he together with this man can leave for the people of this country is to turn the water into blue color.
Please wrap up first.
Now, in wrapping up, I understand that 3 kilometers of railway line has been taken over by Galamsees, which is affecting Ghana Manganese and for that matter Ghana Railway. And when I read the story in the graphic, what they are saying is that the land was given to them by the local authorities. You see, this is why I have difficulty. I'm very happy you are a law student. If you read Article 2576, every mineral in this country is entrusted in the hands of the president. Or vested in
the people of Ghana.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if Daily Graphic, and sometimes I have a problem, a difficulty with reporters. Daily Graphic is supposed to be a national newspaper. Yeah. Immediately then they told you that the local authorities were the ones that gave the land, the mineral for them to mine. You extend your interview to go and find out whether indeed it was given to them by the local authority. After that, what happens is that national security will go and grab that man or woman who sit there and call himself who? Local authority. He is a criminal in cloth. Are you with me? So that is what we must be doing.
Right.
I am doing some 1 or 2 checks that I understand that it's not the local authorities, but rather the local politicians. It may be true or not true. I am hearing duka, but I'll go into it.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go into it, but let me invite.
Why is it that is your time so limited that I can speak for only 7 minutes? Yeah, look, you are forming alliances here. You give me 7 minutes. You are going to give PDA 140 minutes.
Close to 11 minutes.
Oh, so how are you timing me? I was sitting there. I was watching the page. You were watching my page. How did you time me?
Intermittently, I was checking my phone.
You work with the CIA. Now I don't believe you.
But yes. Yeah, I'll come back to you, Solo. Interesting one there. But PDA, you mentioned, I mean, when I read the caption on the front page of the Daily Graphic, you said President Mahama isn't renewing his commitment to the fight against Galamsey. Tell us about that.
Well, thank you. And Solo, the name you're hearing, Deduka. Yeah, I'm also hearing Mirekuduka.
You are hearing that?
Yes.
I'm also hearing Duka.
Yeah, why are you hearing
He
it?
was the former Deputy Minister for Lands, Forestry and Mineral Resources under Sami
the one that bent the electric Tamongo.
Yeah, the representative of the EC.
That has shared the Achimota for it that you're able to enter.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
He actually was Bawumia's advisor on Galamsey during the last election cycle. Himself is reputed to have a Galamsey gang. In fact, City FM reported a deadly clash between his gang and another gang that resulted in the death. And I'm sure in the coming days we would hear more. And I think that Wontumi will be a first of many. The Attorney General has invited him. His lawyers have indicated that he will appear before the CID today. And if he doesn't come, he will not only be arrested, but his entire Akonta Galamsey empire will be made to come on its knees. And I tell you, the big budget that people are asking for to be used in combating Galamsey should not come from you and I. It should come from the resources of the Galamsey kingpins, the queen pins as well, like Kate Jemfua and others. Their assets must be, confiscated to the state. Their bank accounts frozen, and proceeds from any landed property that they have be used in fighting Galamsey. Indeed, I think that the thousands of people who are arrested, of course, I mean, you can't expect that these people would be put on trial in our courts today and have a verdict tomorrow. I want to commend the president for the elevation of many judges in the past few days, and hopefully soon the lawyers like you who would come to fill their shoes will be many, many more, and would have everybody have a fair representation because they'll have access to lawyers. Yeah. Because the thousands and tens of thousands of Galamseyers will each need to be given legal opportunity to legal services. So lawyers, you get some job to do. But then again, they have to be tried, and they have to come before competent courts. And the new Chief Justice, well, soon to be, has indicated his willingness to ensure that special courts are created, and the tribunals, the circuit tribunals, the regional tribunals, will come on stream. And they will dispense justice in a speedy manner. And I like the way the Attorney General indicated there'll be a cap to the length of trials. It should not exceed 6 months. We've had situations in this country where there'll be trials lasting 4 years, and so people just delay the process, hoping that there'll be a new administration, and so they infiltrate the political parties, end up in Parliament. And I want to entreat the Speaker of Parliament to, as it were, walk the talk. He should flush out every single one of the Galamsey MPs currently in the Ghana's Parliament.
When you say Galamsey MPs, what do you mean?
The Suhum MP, Protozwa, what's his name? Frank Asedibekwan.
Yes.
He Sandal. Nanabi, the NSS ghost named Sandal.
They are all complicit to Galamsey.
In the coming days, when the tribunals start working, corruption, Galamsey, will be fast-tracked. And I think that that's one of the major outcomes of the conference that was held on Friday at the presidency. Now, the president has been trying very hard to be consultative in his legacy term, keeping pace with the Ghanaian people and letting Ghanaians move alongside him as he governs this country. You send
and Bobby be our hate media bedroom purpose. It will be as how many Ghana politics I have, and so Ugusu our hate media when you are the more rent fees or be like you be subscribing to the channel and send your political trending news. We are also able to me, I can be with that will be as.